Hi guys, so I'm finally here with my November wrap-up. So I know I'm a few days late with it, but it's better late than never. November really started out as a good reading month for me, but then something happened and I didn't read anything for like a week, but I will get to that at the end of the video, I think. Let's start with the first book that I read, which was Storm by Brigid Kemmerer. And this is the first book in a series, and it's a paranormal slash sci-fi fantasy series, and it follows 4 brothers plus 1 guy, and each book is one of their stories. So Storm follows the youngest brother called Chris, and we meet Chris in a parking lot where he's being beaten by 2 other guys, and then comes Becca, who sees all this happening, and instead of just, running away, she gets in her car and then she chases the 2 guys away from Chris and basically saving him. While she's taking him home, she realizes that something is not quite right with Chris and his family when she finally meets them. And I don't think I'm giving away way too much when I say that each of the brothers are connected to one of the elements. So fire, earth, air and water. And the 5th guy is connected to another one, which I won't say what that is. But Chris is a water elemental, and so this is his story. The thing that was weird about this book is that you would expect the girl and the guy to get together, like in every single young adult, fantasy, paranormal, dystopian, you name it, you have it, book. But the romance in this is kind of weird. I don't know what happened with that, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this book. I think I gave it, let me check, I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, I really liked this, and it was so easy to read, and it's just so much fun and action-packed, and I just really love this book, and I don't know why not more people talk about this, because I think it's really good. So after Storm, I read Elemental, which I will show right here, and this is the first novella that I read in the Elemental series, and this follows the oldest brother, Michael, who is an earth elemental, and this short story takes place, I think, 6 years before Storm, and we kind of get a background for Michael and why he behaves the way he behaves, and I really liked that we could get into his head and see why he's the way that he is. And it was a very short read, and I gave it 4 stars because I really liked it, but I don't normally give 5 stars to a novella, I think, but I might be wrong, we will see it in a second. And then, continuing with the Elemental series, there will be quite a few of them in the next few minutes, so sorry about that, but I read Storm, which is the second full-length book of the Elemental series, and this story follows Gabriel, who is a fire elemental, hence the red cover, and I just love Gabriel so much. Oh my god, this was so good, and this was my favorite out of all of them. I just loved Gabriel, and I loved the female character in it, Leah, who is, kind of normal, average, geeky, smart girl, and I just loved her so much, and her brother, and just the whole dynamic between Gabriel and Leah, and Leilah's brother. I loved the dialogue. It was so charming and witty, and just look at him. Gabriel is gorgeous. Even though I know a lot of people hate these covers, I kind of like them because they are fun, and there are hot guys on the cover, which is always a plus. I didn't really like him in the other books, but when he finally got his own book, I fell in love, and I just love this so much. I gave it 5 stars, obviously, because this was just so good. So I recommend this series to everyone because I quite enjoy them. Then I read Fearless, which is another novella from the Elemental series, and this follows Hunter, who is not one of the brothers, but he is the 5th guy. And I did not like this novella as much as all the other books, and it's not because I don't like Hunter, because I actually liked Hunter in the first book, even though that created the weird romance thingy that I was talking about. But with this novella, I felt like I didn't really get to know him any better, and I just didn't really care for it. And even though it was really short, I I didn't feel like that you have to read this. And then there was the Breathless novella, which is an absolute must-read in the Elemental series, and this is where I actually gave 5 stars to the novella because I just loved it so much. And it follows Nick, who is the twin brother of Gabriel, and Nick is an air elemental. Nick is just such a sweetheart, and I loved him from all the other books, and I'm so happy that he's getting his own book soon-ish. But I hate the cover for that because I will put a picture right here because it's just not good and it doesn't follow all the other covers, and I'm just so upset about that. But anyways, this novella was really enjoyable, and you get to know some things about Nick that you wouldn't quite have expected, I think, and that's why you really need to read this novella because it actually matters when it comes to the story and to Nick's life. So I gave it 5 stars because it was that good. And then I read Spirit, which is the 3rd full length book of in the Elemental series. The main character in this book is Hunter, who is again not one of the brothers. And this one I did not like, and I was so upset about it, because at first I liked it, but it was so different from all the other books because it was so dark and depressing, and obviously you didn't see the brothers as much as you have seen in the other books because he is not one of them, although he does spend time with them. One of the main reasons why I didn't like this book is because I so did not like the female main character in this one. She just irritated me, and I couldn't stand her, and I couldn't care for their relationship. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. But I'm waiting for the other books, and I'm still in love with this series, and I can only recommend it to all you guys. You should already read it because it's good, especially Spark, and especially Gabriel and Nick. I love them. The next book I read is Making Faces by Amy Harmon. Let me just start by I love Amy Harmon, and I have never seen anybody talk about her on BookTube, but she's quite popular in Goodreads, on Goodreads I think. And her other book called Different Blue is, oh my god, one of my favorites of this year. So I had really high expectations of Making Faces. I was expecting something very good, and I did get something very good. It's about a guy called Ambrose, and he's your popular guy in high school who plays sports and is good looking, and all the girls love him, and all the guys wanna be him. And we also meet this girl called Fern, and she has the biggest crush on Ambrose, and she has had that crush for years now. Basically, the story unfolds after Ambrose decides to leave for the army, and he gets seriously hurt in the war. And when he comes back, basically his whole face is damaged. So he did survive that war, but he came back as a broken man, and he feels like he lost everything and life is just nothing anymore. And then he meets Fern again, who desperately wants to help him, and who wants to show him that his life is not over, and that he should still try to enjoy it. And just, it's such a beautiful book. And even though it has romance in it, I didn't really connect to the romance itself, but to the friendship, and especially with one of the other characters. I just loved him so much, and their friendship. And this book had so many beautiful quotes and just messages. It really moved me, and I'm just so happy I found this author, and I want to recommend her books to everyone because she's such an amazing author, and you should check out her books because she's awesome. And of course I gave Making Faces 5 stars. And then I read a book that I'm sure that everyone has read except for me. This is something that I missed out in my childhood, so I decided to pick this series up because I just can't go on my life without reading this series, because I have to know what I have been missing for years now. So I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, for the very first time at the age of, how old I am? I am 22. So at the young age of 22, I finally picked the first Harry Potter book up and I read it. And I did like it. I liked it, but I just felt like they are just so young in this, and of course I knew they were gonna be young in this, and it's a middle grade series, and I don't really read middle grade books because I just can't really relate. But I could easily see what the hype was about, and the writing was so good, and it just flowed very well, and the characters were very vivid and just fun, and they had their own voices, and the story, even though I think I saw the movies, I didn't see the ending coming, so that was really good. I was really excited about that. I just didn't expect what the ending of this book was, so that was exciting. And I didn't know Harry was funny, and he was really funny in some parts of these books. And of course, I have always loved Ron in the movies, and Hermione grew on me right after she became friends with the guys. So I enjoyed this book quite a lot, but I didn't give it 5 stars, I gave it 4 stars, especially because I'm hoping that I can reserve all my 5-star ratings for the next books, because I think they will be even better. So this one was a 4-star read for me. And then I went ahead and read the second book in the Harry Potter series, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I didn't really enjoy this as much as I loved the first book, even though I have to say this, the beginning of the first book was way too long for me. I couldn't wait for him to finally get to Hogwarts, and in this one I actually liked the beginning, so it's kind of weird that with the first one I like the middle and the ending better, and with this I like the beginning better. But still, the characters were still lovely, and still funny, and still charming, and smart, and I just love their friendship so much, even though Harry kind of pissed me off in some parts of this book, but I still enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to continue with this series, because now I have all the books, and I just need to read them, because I have to get the experience. But again, I gave this 4 stars as well. The next book I read in November was Don't Breathe a Word by Holly Cupala, and this is a contemporary book, and it follows a girl called Joy, and she was in a not so healthy relationship with this guy called Asher, and she wants to escape this relationship, so she decides to leave home altogether. She is running away to this other guy, who at some point offered his help to her, because he saw how the other guy treated her. But this guy who offered his help is actually a homeless guy, so she runs away from her home to the street, basically, to live on the streets. I gave it 4 stars because it was good. I flew through it so quickly. I think I read it in one sitting, so that's a good thing. And yeah, I did like it, but it wasn't the best. But I still really like the cover, because it's so pretty and colorful, and which the book is not, because the book is not pretty and colorful inside. After that, I read Unteachable by Leah, Raeder, or Raeder. This is a teacher-student relationship kind of book, which I normally like. I don't know, even though I never, had a teacher that I had a crush on, because we all always had old guys, so there wasn't anyone to crush on. But I did like in Vampire Academy the Rose-Dimitri relationship so much, and I just loved how he was her instructor or teacher, but it didn't really feel like it. Anyways, this book, I did not like it. And the reason why I did not like this book is because I just couldn't stand the main character, the girl. I just don't like overconfident girls in books, especially when they are the main characters, because for one, I can't relate to them, obviously, and they just annoy me, and I can't really root for them in books, because I just don't like them. So why should I care about their lives and, their love lives? Anyway, so this girl has a one-night stand with this guy in a carnival, and of course the next day she realizes that he is her new teacher, and they start to have an affair or a secret relationship. I don't know, it was just weird, and I don't know why people really like this book or their relationship and their romance, because it just felt all about lust and not love, and it was just wrong. It felt wrong, and maybe this book had to feel wrong. I'm not sure, but yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I did not really like it. And the last book I have read in November was Unravelling by Elizabeth Norris, and we have the main character called Janelle, who is hit by a truck and dies. She knows that she dies, but there's this guy called Ben who brings her back to life, but of course he will deny that, quite Edward Cullen, kinda. And but she knows that somehow this boy did bring her back, and that something is not quite right with him, because a normal human being wouldn't be able to do that. And also we have Janelle's dad, who is an FBI agent, and Janelle gets to know about this case that he is working on, and she starts to do her own investigation with her best friend. This book started out really good. I really did enjoy it, and I just didn't say the most important thing, that basically they find this object that is counting back the time, and when Janelle gets to know about this object, it's counting down from 24 days. And basically she has 24 days to save the world. Easy, right? Not quite. And maybe I'm just an idiot, but I really didn't understand the problems or what was happening in the book, because it was just way too much for my brain. But I think it did make sense. I should have just, read it more carefully and paying more attention to the details. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And I finished Unravelling on the 21st of November, and then I haven't read anything until the 29th, because then I started Allegiant, but I didn't finish it in November, so we are not going to talk about that. But the reason why I didn't read anything else is because a TV show has basically taken over my life, and that show is called Dance Academy, which, pretty please, everyone should watch because it's just so good. I couldn't stop watching it, and I'm so sad that it only had like 3 seasons, but the first season was a half season, and the episodes are only 24 minutes long, so it's basically 1.5 seasons, and it was just so good, and I couldn't do anything else. My mind couldn't stop thinking about that show, and I just needed to make a video about that, so I'm just going to self-promote myself right here. If you want to check out that video about my favorite couple right now, then please click right here, because oh my god, that show is just so good, and nobody knows about it, and everyone should know about it because it's so good. So anyways, I should shut up about TV shows because these are about books, but Dance Academy was the reason why I haven't done any reading in the last week of November. But I still managed to read 12 books, so that's good. And I also reached my goal on Goodreads, which was 100 books, and yay, so that's done. So everything else is just over that number, so I'm happy with that. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and please check out the books that I have recommended, and please check out Dance Academy, and if you want to, the video I had made, because it would mean a lot to me. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.